everyone, Dr. Kara from KH Evolution. Today I want to talk to you about being alone, the fear of being by ourselves, and the fact that a lot of times we don't even realize that we have this fear or this unsettledness about being alone because we become so far removed from being alone that we forget what it feels like and we forget the importance of it. So I was just having this conversation with a friend of mine, and it really triggered my memory of when I was younger. I loved being alone. I was an only child for the first 5 years of my life, and then a younger sibling came along, and I love my younger sibling. However, what I was remembering is that when I was a child, I loved being by myself, reading a story, and going into that space of make-believe and really entertaining myself. And I was comforted by being in a space by myself. And then as I went to school and learned to be with people, which was not an easy transition for me. I cried a lot, and it was very fearful. It brought up a lot of fear. And I think that for most of us as adults, particularly parents of children, we're not always prepared to help our children move through this dynamic of being safe in our home to learning how to be out in the community with other people. And this was difficult for me, and I think it was very difficult for me because I was a feeler. I felt energy, and at that point early on, when I was spending time alone, I was really connected to my heart, and I had this kind of idea or concept, even if I didn't know it, of what served me, what helped me maintain good health, what fed my soul, what kept me safe and secure. And then as I had to go out into the world, and I really didn't have an instruction booklet, none of us do, right? And one of the things that happened is I became disconnected from my heart space, from really knowing what was right and best for me. And I think it happens because we're told what's right. We're told how to act and how to be and how to show up and what clothes to wear and what we're supposed to be thinking and feeling and how we're supposed to be treating people. And not all of that's bad, but it does impact us in a negative light if we can't hold on to that essence of who we are, that essence of the being that we came here to be. And I think that's what happened to me, and I think that's what happens to many of us. And it creates this fear inside of being alone. It creates this fear inside of maybe not being able to show up in the way that we're supposed to or the way that would be accepted. And it enters in, it opens up the doorway for all of this judgment, all of this space where we're seeking information from outside of us to create a parameter of what we're supposed to be and how we're supposed to show up. And over the years, what happened was a lot of anxiety got rooted into me and who I am. And I became very anxious and fearful. And I think this happens to a lot of us as an seasoned energy practitioner, someone who has seen many, many clients through the years, and I've worked with all sorts of different concerns that people have had, from addictions to deep-rooted anxiety to sorrow and grief and so much more. And I think one of the key aspects is that we really get disconnected from that truth of who we are. And that truth is sitting in that space of being able to quiet the mental mind and to be able to quiet all of the interference that comes from that outside world. And today there's so much of it because we're constantly on our phones and connected via social media. And when we don't disconnect from this, when we don't make sure that we're taking the time to really know and understand what that voice inside of us is saying, what happens is we get really anxious and the fear rises up and we forget how to connect and we forget how to spend time by ourselves. We forget who we really are. And so, there's many ways to return back and to identify with who we are. And some of my favorite ways and some of the best ways that I've been able to do this is I've lent to you in the Energy Basics course that I've been working on creating for you for over a year. And at this moment, the Energy Basics course is available to you. There are moments and times when that cart will be closed, but right at the moment, Energy Basics is available. And I highly suggest that you take a look at it. In just a few minutes every day, creating a new habit, you can reestablish that relationship, that very personal relationship that you have with yourself that really should be honored above all other things. And when we do honor it, above all other things, amazing things happen in our life. Critical, amazing things. The direction of our life can change for the better. And we really step into our majesty and we really start claiming our own personal power. And we're doing it in a way that is often so unbeknownst to us because we're just investing 5 to 10 minutes every day into a new behavior and a new pattern. And this new behavior and new pattern opens up doorways that we never even knew were there. We never even knew that we closed them or somebody else closed them. But when they open, that's when the magic can happen. And so I invite you to open up those doorways. Take a look inside. See who you are and who you came here to be.